Alright, so let's continue with our second video for Statistics 1, Chapter 1. Okay, so for this video, we are going to discuss about the stem and leaf diagrams, or sometimes we call it as stem plots. Alright, so I believe that this is something new to most of you. Okay, and then it is actually a kind of simple diagram, okay, to show your data. Alright, so a very useful way of grouping data into classes while still retaining the original data to draw a stem and leaf diagram. So we usually call it a stem plot. That means we actually try to arrange the data in a proper way from smallest number to the largest number. Okay, so usually we call this kind of data as stem and leaf diagram, or maybe we call it a stem plot. Alright, so it is a simple graph for quantitative data, remember that, and also it is we are using the actual numerical value for each data point. That means when you draw this graph, right, your original data you can still look at, you can still get the original values of every single data in your graph, in your diagram. Alright, okay, so there are some steps to follow here. I will just go through it very quickly and then I will show you the detail later by using the example. Alright, okay, so when you look at the steps, the first one is to divide each measurement into two parts. So to draw the stem and leaf diagram, there are two parts of the graph. Left-hand side usually will be the stem and the right-hand side will be the leaf. Okay, list the stem in a column with vertical line to their right. And after that, for each measurement, record the leaf portion in the same row as it is matching stem. Order the leaf, and also you need to provide the key according to your coding with unit measurement. Okay, so throughout so many points here, the last one is the most important one. You need to provide a key with unit measurement. Usually this one will be given 1 mark if they ask you to draw a stem plot in the exam. Alright, so please make sure that you remember that. Okay, no worry, all the steps here no need to memorize. I will show you how to do it later, okay, by using the example. Okay, so in a stem and leaf diagram or stem plot, you have to make sure that, okay, all the interval must equal width. So equal width means that later I will show you, okay, then the key, then the stem must be integer. Okay, so highlight this one. And after that, when you are stating the key, right, the unit of measurement must be clearly shown. Okay, so these are something that you need to know. The note here is quite important, every single thing here. Every single point here is very important. Alright, so without delay, we straight away start with an example to show you how to draw the stem plot first. Then after that, only you come back here. Okay? Right, so let's have a look for example 2. So for example 2, they tell you that I'm having the marks for 20 students in an assignment. Alright, so these are the marks. Okay, construct a stem and leaf diagram to show the assignment marks. Okay, generally, first, usually the first step is I will ask the student, look at the smallest value throughout for the whole set of data. So the smallest value is 17. And what is the largest value for this set of data? What is the largest value? Is it 84? I think it should be 84, right? So the smallest number is 17. The largest number is 84. So what are we going to do is, you can see that we are having this. Okay, so wait, maybe I try to make it smaller so that you can see everything. Okay, so the smallest number is 17 and the largest number is 84. Generally, for stem and leaf diagram, you will have stem on the right hand side. Okay, and then you draw a line. And then stem on the left hand side, and then after that you're having leaf on the right hand side. Okay, so this is why you put a stem and leaf diagram. Alright, so for the stem part, like usually for this one, okay, so we take this as example. All these are 2 digits, right? So 2 digits number. So usually for the stem, we will include the first digit number here. So the smallest number is 17, right? So the stem will start with 1. And the largest number is 84. And therefore, I will need to include all the integer until 8. Okay, so I put 1 until 8 because the smaller number is 17 and the largest number is 84. So that's why I put my stem in proper arrangement first up, from small number to the largest one until 8. I didn't include the 9 because there's no value with 9. No data with first digit 9. Okay. All right, then after that, for the leaf part, what you need to do is like you just need to try to put all the data into the leaf part. So as example, first number is 84, right? So 84, it should be belongs to the stem 8 and then the 4. So you just put a 4 here. So when you read the graph, you should know that this is the meaning of 84. Okay, second number is 17. Therefore, the second start with 1, right? So 7, you should put it here lah, beside the 1. Then next one, 30. 45. 45 means start from 4 and 5. Then 47. So 47, the 47 is the second number that start with 4, right? So when you write, you will write with some space here between the 5, after the 5, and then you just put a 7 here. So when I read the data from here, I know that there's a value with 45, there's another value with 47. Okay, then next number 53. Okay, 76. So you can do it quickly by putting in the value one by one. So 32, 66, 65, 55, 54, 51, 44, 39, 19, 54, and then 72. Alright, so if let's say you're having 20 data here, then when you count the number on the leaf part, you should have 20 data. So don't miss out any value and don't do any careless mistake. Alright, so to me, this is kindergarten level maths. So you should be able to do it. Just arrange number, okay? Just to put number under which group. Okay, so it's very, very simple. So if you cannot do it correctly, please go back to kindergarten. Alright, okay. Then now, after you complete to arrange, to put in all your data already, okay, I want to rearrange my leaf from smallest number to the largest number. So as an example, my final answer actually should be stem and then leaf lah. Okay, so again, I'm having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, although the 2, there's no number here, but you still need to include it in your final block. Okay, don't cancel it off. You must still show it out. Okay, then after that, just try to arrange the leaf. So the first one is 7, 9, no problem. 2, you just leave it empty. Don't feel hand itchy and go and write it as 0. When you write a 0 here, that means there's one student who scored 20. Okay, if you didn't draw anything or you didn't write anything, that means there's no student score 20 something or 20. Okay, so that it is not the same. So just make sure that you don't go and write a 0 here. When you see 2 empty, nothing to write, right? So you just write 0. No, please don't write anything. Okay, then for 3, 2, 8, 9, if you rearrange it, 4 is 4, 5, 7, and then for 5, 1 is 1, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5. So if let's say 54 appear for 3 times, you need to write out for 3 times. Okay, then 5, 6, 2, 5, 6, and 4. Alright, and after that, when you want to write out the key, you can write out as something like this, 3 stroke 2. Denotes what? So denotes 32 marks. So this is to make sure that for those who didn't learn statistics, they actually know what do you mean by this diagram. Okay, so the key must include with unique. So this is a complete final plot. Okay, so this is preliminary plot. So actually this graph no need to show in exam. This one no need to show. I just want to show you the process, alright? So this is how you actually do it. So in exam, you just need to show them the final plot here. Okay, I don't think that it is hard right? It is quite simple, but just make sure that you don't do any calendar mistake, and also you have to make sure that the 32 marks, the unit is included, okay, in your key. Alright, so you can use any number like 3 stroke 2 6 stroke 5 or whatsoever. You can even put 2 stroke 1. Even if the number is not inside your graph, you can still write it out. Okay, it is not wrong. Alright, so this is what you have for the basic type of stem plot. Okay, so let's have a look for the details that we have just now. Okay, so there are 4 points here, right? There are a few points here that I showed it to you just now. The note. Okay, so first, In the stem and leaf diagram, all the interval must be equal width. So what is the meaning for all the interval must be equal width? So you can see that for the first interval here, any number from 10 until 90 will be included in the first class. And then for the second interval, it should be 20 until 29. So any number between 20 until 29, then it should be third here. So you can see every single row here, they are actually includes the same width of numbers. Okay, so 50 to 59. So you can see 10 to 19, 20 to 29, all the width, all the numbers, the width of the class is the same. 19 minus 10, you get a 9, right? So 29 minus 20 also get a 9. Everything is a 9. All right, so this is what we mean by equal width. All right, and then the key is essential. I told you already, right? The key is written down there. The stem must be integer. Okay, this is a point that you need to know. Okay, when we talk about the stem must be integer, so you see all the stem that I list out just now are integer, right? There's no decimal number. Okay, so you have to remember this. And one more important point about the stem must be integer. If you have a chance, right, when you go and search online for some website or maybe some other textbook, which is not A-level syllabus one, you actually will see that some of the books, they actually accept the stem with decimal number. There are some of them, all right? So does that means that they are wrong? Actually, they are not wrong. Just that maybe for A-level syllabus, they prefer us to have non-decimal number stem. That means it must be integer. So we just follow what the A-level requests. Okay, so don't go and search for something or some book and come and show me, hey, teacher, you see this book, they accept decimal number. Okay, but it is not wrong. A-level also not wrong, just that they choose, okay, to restrict it so that students can have more standard answer. All right, so for us, we are going to use the stem, the rules that the stem must be integer. So please remember this one. Okay, and then the units of measurement must be clearly shown. So as what I told you just now, all the key must have the very clear. Okay, so this is how we actually construct a very basic stem and leaf diagram. Okay, all right, so this is the basic one. That's what I told you. Very basic because you have two integers, right? So when you want to put the numbers into the stem and leaf diagram, should be no problem. Okay, so if you want to challenge yourself, I will suggest you can pause the video now, and then you can try example 3, 4, 3 and 4. Okay, yourself first before I discuss it with you, or before you resume and play the video. Maybe you can pause the video and you try it out on your own first and see whether you can get the answer or not. All right, maybe you can challenge yourself like this. Okay, so for me, I will just continue to discuss it. You can pause it anytime, right? Okay, when you get this video during your free time or during the class time. Okay, so let's have a look for example 3. Okay, so as what I told you just now, example 2 is a basic type of stem and leaf diagram. So example 3 and 4 will be a bit special one. Okay, so I discuss a special type of stem plot with you so that in the future, when you look at the question, right, or maybe when you look at the data, at least you have the idea of maybe you can draw this kind of graph or this kind of step plot. Okay, right, so let's have a look for example 3. So we are talking about the length in meters, so the unit is meters. So there are 20 measurements in physics experiment are recorded as follows. These are the records, the 20 measurements in physics experiment. And then first one, they want you to represent the information on the stem and leaf diagram. Okay, so if you really pause your video just now, maybe you are thinking, how can you actually put all this decimal number into a stem and leaf diagram? Did you try just now? I will prefer you to try out before I show you the answer. At least you think about it, right? If let's say you didn't think, you just copy my solution, right? You actually learn nothing. Okay, so for maths actually and stats, you need to think. You need to, it trains your thinking actually. All right, so you need to think before you check for the answer. Okay, so let us start. Again, the very first step is I will always look for the smallest value. Okay, so for this one, the smallest value is what? The smallest value should be 1.61. Is there any other smaller value than this? No, right? Okay, then after that, the highest value is 2.04. Okay, so for my stem, 161 and also 204, to me, if I ignore the decimal number, there are three integers, 161, 204. Therefore, when I put my numbers in stem, I will put 2 digits in stem. So I'm having 16, 18, or 17, 18, 19, and so maybe somebody will tell me, it's wrong already because the data is got 1 point something what. No worry, later we can solve this problem. Okay, so but now I just want to make sure that my stem has no decimal number, therefore I remove it. Okay, but 16 means I'm going to use it for 1.61 and so on. Okay, then now we talk about the leaf. Okay, so let's start to put in all the value here. First number is 1.78. So I put it under 17 and then I put the 8 here. Okay, so this is an important thing. Usually for leaf part, we will usually, okay, I don't know whether got special case or not, but I haven't seen any special case yet until now. Okay, but usually we are going to put one number for the leaf part only, usually, okay. Most of the graph, we are only having one number for the leaf part. So that's why I put two number at the stem. Right, so I'm having 178, first number, 187, 189, 172, 168, 204, 196, 176, 190, 173, 178, 161, 178 again, 77, 85, 65, 89, 95, 201, 183. Okay, so you can see that generally this is what I have. So if you want to make sure that you didn't do any careless mistake, try and count all these numbers on the leaf part equals 20 out of the total. Because you're having 20 data, right? So that means if you're having 19 here, that means you did some careless mistake or you missed out some numbers already. Alright, okay, then after that you rearrange it. So this one is 158. Okay, so this one is 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 8, 8. Okay, so this one is 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 8, 8. So you rearrange all the leaf from smallest number to the largest number. So like for this one is 35799. So 35799. Then 056. So this is 0, 5, 6, and the last one you're having 1, 4. Okay, so you completed your stem and leaf diagram already, and now you can put in the key. Okay, so just like I told you, right, because our stem restricted to the no decimal number, but it must be integer. Therefore, you can actually try to explain your graph in the key part. So as an example, if I'm writing 17 stroke 5, means what? Means that it is actually 1.75 meter. Okay, so you can actually explain your graph by using the key. So the 175 actually it means that 1.75. So that means when the people who read the graph, okay, they will understand that, oh, okay lah. So actually the 16 means 1.6 something. 17 means 1.7 something, and so on. Okay, so this is the first part of the stem and leaf diagram. All right, so how to deal with the decimal number data? This is how we deal with it. Okay, then after that, state the mode. All right, so what is the meaning for mode? Still remember, mode is the number that appear most time, okay, in the set of data. So when you have a stem and leaf diagram, one of the advantages is you can look through the data in a very easy and clear way, because they arrange everything from smallest to largest number, right? And then from here you can see very obviously this appear 3 times. All right, so this will be the mode. So the mode is not the 8, it is what? 1.78 meter. Right? So this is the second example that we have, like how to do the numbers with decimal place, how to put it into the stem block. Okay, so this is what we have. Did you did it correctly? Did you do it correctly? If let's say you pause the video and try it on your own just now. Okay, if it is wrong, never mind, because all this is something new, so if let's say you can't think of it, still After you look at the solution, my solution already, then you should know how to do it or how to deal with all the data here, right? Okay, so let's continue to example 4, another special type of stem and leaf diagram. Okay, so for example 4, we are having the maximum temperature in Celsius measured to this degree. Okay, so they want to draw a stem and leaf diagram to illustrate the temperature and also write out the model temperature. So again, they are asking for model temperature. Okay, so for this example, there are two answers here. I want to show you two answers here, two set of answers here, and I already actually put in the value of stem. Okay, so let's have a look for example 1. Okay, so you will see that for stem, there are 4 1 here and also 2 number 2 here. Okay, so one question, can we do this in exam? Yes, it is not wrong. They only say that stem must be integer, but they didn't say that your stem cannot be repeated. I mean the numbers of the stem cannot be repeated, can. So that's why for this answer 1, you will see that there are 4 numbers here, 4 1 and also 2 2s here. Okay, so again, let us have a look for the smallest value and also the largest value. So you can see that this is 1 2. I think smallest number should be 1 2 if I'm not mistaken. And I think the largest number should be 23. Okay, so you can see, you can actually have a guess. How can I put in my data into 4 ones here and also the 2 2 here? So the smallest number start from 12, right? So you can have a guess. So if let's say I put in 12 and 13 for this first number, 14 and 15, then 16 and 17, 17, 18 and 19. It looks like quite nice, because for every single interval, the width is 2 numbers. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And then the next class is Nam start with 20. So 20 to 21 and then 22 to 23. So you have to guess how to put in and fit in your data correctly, okay, into the different classes here. If let's say the stem are given. Okay, so if let's say 12 and 13, I should put it under this stem. Okay, so 14, 15 should be the second row and so on. Okay, so now please fill in the leaf on your own and then rearrange it and try to get a final answer. So for my video here, I will only show you the final answer straight away. I'm not going to discuss and put in the value one by one for you already. Alright, I think you have the idea already. Okay, so final answer should look something like this. Okay, so your complete graph should be something like this, and after that the key you can write as 1 stroke 2 denotes Celsius. Okay, so this is the answer for the first graph. Alright, so just to let you know, for this example, repeated numbers, the stem are allowed as long as the width of every single interval are the same. Okay, so this is one special answer like that you need to know. Yeah. All right. Then how about for answer number 2? Okay. So for answer number 2, they give you the stem number start with 12, and after that 15, after that 18, after that 21. So again, you have to have a guess lah. How can you fit your number in here? Okay, so if I say 12, maybe 12 means start from 12, or your smallest number is 12, right? So if let's say you put in 12 until 13 here, then the next class start with 15. Oh, okay, then maybe you can have a guess that first class is 12 until 14, and then the second class is 15, and refer to the previous one, 12, 13, 14, right? So 15, 16, 17. so that the next class start from 18. So 18, 19, 20, and then 21, 22, 23. Okay. All right. So how now? You roughly know the interval already. How can you put in your all the value into the table? Okay. So maybe I need to delete this answer so that you can have a look here. Okay. So let's have a look for 19. Okay. So 19. So 19 for me lah. I'll put it under this 18. Okay. Because 19 is between 18 to 20, right? So I'll put it under here. But what should I put? Should I put a 9? It is not correct. Okay, I will put a 1 for 19. You have to guess and see. Okay, and then 23. If 23, I'll put it in the last bus, and I will put it as a 2. Okay, and 19, 19 again, so it will be 1 and 1 again. Then 20, I'll put it under here, but it is 2. So I hope that you can see the pattern already for now. If you cannot, then try again. Try, I'll put it here and I'll put it as 0. 19. So 19, I'll put it here, which is 1. 22, I'll put it under the last class, it is 1. 22 again, it is 1, and so on. Okay, so can you have a guess? What is the pattern of this 0, 1, 2, 1 here? Okay, so actually this one means that you take the stamp value plus 1, so which is equals to 90. Okay, so if let's say this one, it is actually 12 plus 0, and then you'll get 12. Okay, all right, so this is another special type of stem plot that you should know. What does it mean? Okay, all right, so of course, in an exam, I'm not going to ask you to draw this kind of graph because it is actually quite complicated. It is not straightforward enough. But just in case that in the exam, if they provide you this kind of stem plot, at least you understand what does it mean. Okay? All right, so you try to avoid this one, you try to go for the simple one. But this is for extra understanding. Okay, to tell you that actually there are some special type of stem plot. Okay, all right, so again, you complete the graph yourself here. This whole graph yourself, I will just show you the final answer. So this one is 0, 0, 1, 2, then 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2. After that, 0. And then after that is 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. Okay, so you can write 12 stroke 0 denotes 12 plus 0 Celsius. Then if that's 12 stroke 2, then you can write as denotes 12 2 Celsius, which is 4 here. Okay, so this one you can write any one, you can just write one only if you want. Alright, and then in the exam, no need to show them all this. No need to show. This is for your understanding only. Alright, so for final graph, it should look something like this. Okay, so again, for this answer 1 and 2, it doesn't mean that I will encourage you to draw this kind of more complicated stem plot in the exam, but it is just for your extra understanding and also knowledge. Okay, so in case if the puzzle question gives you a stem plot like this, at least you know how to interpret it. Yeah, all right. Then if no problem, you should have the very basic idea on how to draw the stem plot already. Okay, let's continue the last one. Last example for today, for this video. Okay, back-to-back stem plot. So you already know how to draw a particular, a simple type of stem plot. Okay, then now we are going to continue with a special case of back-to-back stem plot. Sometimes they are having two sets of data or two samples. So if you want to compare these two sets of data, you can actually use the back-to-back stem plot. Okay, the idea is more or less the same like what you learned just now. Okay, just that you draw two stem plots at the same table. Okay, so let's have a look for example 5. Okay, so they are having the exam marks for 20 for two different subjects, French and also English. First, they're going to draw the back-to-back stem plot or stem and leaf diagram. And the second one, they want you to compare the two sets of marks. Okay, so for back-to-back stem plot, it will look something like this. Your stem is in the middle. And then for the leaf part, you need to state out, okay, what subject or what data is it for. So maybe for the left hand side, I'll keep it as the French leaf. And then for the right hand side, I will put it as the English leaf. Okay, so the label must be very clear so that the people who are reading your graph or stem plot, at least they know, okay, which part belongs to French marks and which part belongs to English marks. Okay, then again, the same process applies when you want to put in the data into your stem plot. Look for the smallest number, okay, for both set of data. Okay, among these two set of data, right? So the smallest number is 23, and then I think the largest number should be 92, if I'm not mistaken. That means for your stem, the smallest number should be a 2. And then you can continue with 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, and 9. Sorry, I need to make it smaller so that you can see everything. Okay, then now you can start to put in the leaf for the French part. So I believe that this part have no problem. It's very straightforward. Okay, so you want to talk about the leaf part for English. So for the leaf part of English, you still do the same thing, like 80, you put 0 here. So you read the value in the opposite way. So this one is 80. Okay, so 65 means 6 then 5. 74 means 7 and then 4. Okay, and so on. Alright, so you still do the same thing. Okay, so if you did everything correct without careless mistake, then your graph should look something like this. Maybe you can pause the video first and then you attempt it first and check it with my answer. Okay, so 7, 8, 9, 0, 4, 5, 1, then 4, 4, 4, 9, 9, and then 0, 4, 6, and 2. Okay, then for the English part, you should have, I'm looking at the wrong answer. So for me, this is my English part, this is my French. For the answer that I prepared earlier, so maybe I just write it like this. So this one is English, this one is French. Alright, so for the French mark, I should have 23 and 29. Then 1, 4, 6, 7, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. So 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. 4, 5, 5, 5, 7, and then 0, 1. Okay, so you can see that for the French marks, smaller number is here, and then the larger number is towards the end of the left. Then for English part, small number is on the left, and then the large number is here. Alright, so this is what we call as back-to-back stem plot. Usually you have the stem in the middle, you're having two groups of leaves at the two separate sides, left and right hand side. Okay, alright, so again, for this kind of back-to-back stem plot, you have to make sure that you label out clearly your left-hand side leaf is what group and your right-hand side leaf is what group. If you didn't state it out correctly, generally you will lose 1 mark, okay, for labeling. Okay, so this is what you have. Then after that, how you write out the key? Okay, so for the key part, the green color one no need to write out in the exam. Okay, so for the key, what should you have is you can write it like this. Maybe you can write simply write any number, so 3, or maybe for me I will write like this. Okay, so maybe 2 stroke 4 stroke 3. Okay, so what does this mean? So when you're having this, it means that denotes 43 marks For what subject? For French. Oh, sorry, for English. Okay, so for English. And then for this one, the other way around is 42, right? So you can write the notes 42 marks for French. Okay, so this is a complete back-to-back stem plot or back-to-back stem and leaf diagram. Alright, so I hope that you have the idea how to construct the correct back-to-back stem plot to compare the data. So for part number 2, you see they ask you to compare the two cell data already. So when you compare the two cell marks here, if you look at the back-to-back stem plot, try to do a very straightforward comparison. So for these two subjects, right, can you tell me that what subject actually students score better? I think it's very obvious that English, right? Because you can see the English mark highest until 92, and then most of them are gathered, okay, lower at the lower part here, at the lower part. All right, and then for French marks, usually the highest is only 71, and also there are more data on the top part here. All right, therefore you can do a very straightforward comparison. Students perform better. Better in what subject? In English. Okay, don't write a long paragraph for me for comparison, no use one. For stats and maths, we only want short and simple answer that's straight to the point. Okay, so this is short, simple, and straight to the point. Okay. Alright, so here for this video, we covered all types of possible stem plot that might be asked in our syllabus. So I hope that you probably have the idea about this. Okay, so for the next video, we are going to learn something that you learned before already. We are going to learn histogram. But again, the histogram part, there are something new that you never learned before. Okay, so we'll cover all this in the next video. So this video mainly is for understanding the back-to-back plot and also the basic types of stem plot. Alright,